When you're done listening to Beard Al, check out my podcast, Beer in Front. Each week I'll have a classic craft beer we'll discuss, some local Chicago craft beers, and also I'll call people a jag-off. You can listen to it wherever you don't find the good podcasts. Once again, that's Beer in Front. Thank you so much.
Episode of the Beard Al podcast, the podcast where we talk about two of the greatest things in the world, beer and Weird Al. I'm still Lauren, as always, and John is not here, as not always. But I am joined by a guest today. I've got Mike Mott on the call with me today. The call. I've got Mike Mott on the show today, and I'm just going to basically let him introduce himself and give us his credentials. What qualifies you to talk Weird Al with me today, sir?
So I'm Mike Mott. We have a little podcast called, we actually have a family of podcasts, and we had Lauren and John on our sort of parent podcast, which is the Pub Trivia Experience. We had them on about a month ago, a little over a month ago. It was one of the most fun episodes we ever had. And if you love Weird Al, there's a lot of Weird Al trivia in that episode. So I would definitely check it out. It's a Pub Trivia Experience. You can find it anywhere you get podcasts. We also have other podcasts called Recast That, where we take people that love movies and we make them recast some of their favorites, so like Top Gun and stuff like that. We need to do UHF, but you can't recast UHF.
You can't recast UHF.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
I think what we could do is pick another random movie and recast that with the people from UHF.
That's a great idea. You could do. I mean, you could have UHF and you keep Weird Al and just recast everyone around him. You could do something like that.
Yeah, or like...
And not that the cast wasn't great. I mean, that's part of the thing, is even if the cast is great, you have to kind of try and find another one that's good.
But if UHF came out now, who is Michael Richards now? Who is Fran Drescher now?
That's exactly right. Yeah. So that's the, yeah. But that's kind of the idea. Yeah. But, they take a lot of untouchable classics, like they recently did The Princess Bride. I wasn't part of that one, but like, can you imagine, right, recasting Princess Bride?
Yeah.
So,
no.
And then most recently, another alcohol themed podcast, we have Boozy Bracketology, which basically started this past spring because we had no March Madness. And in order to fill that void, we did a random bracket of Disney and Pixar movies and just whittled it down to what we considered the best one. And we had so much fun doing it. We started a podcast, which is basically how all this stuff started. Like, what do you guys love? Beer and Weird Al. That's a podcast, and it's fantastic. So, but that's my little pitch. As far as what qualifies me to talk Weird Al, as I think we're going to get into, I discovered Weird Al in the early 90s and very quickly became addicted, and I listened to all of his. Now, I actually freely admit I'm not as familiar with the newer Weird Al stuff because I was just more of that 80s, 90s kid. But I devoured his early discography. Like, I owned it all on cassette. For a while, the UHF soundtrack was kind of my white whale. I could not find it anywhere. And I one day managed to find the CD of it in the soundtrack section of some random store. And it was probably 13 at the time. And it was genuinely one of the happiest days of my life when I found that. Because at that time, let me take you back. This is back before there was streaming or anything like that. So I knew I knew of the existence of songs like The Biggest Ball of Twine in Minnesota, that we were just discussing before we started recording. I had never heard it. So like finding that and doing everything, it was just great. But no, my qualifications are that I just was swimming in nothing but Weird Al for like a solid, pretty much my entire pre-adolescence. So.
Well, that's perfect. That's really all the qualifications you need.
Yeah.
I mean, my bare minimum qualifications for having somebody on the show is, have you heard of Weird Al? Are you human?
Right.
And let's go.
Exactly.
But the other, of course, I would be remiss. We can't get into the conversation without the other thing that we do here.
It is the Beard Owl podcast, right?
Exactly. It is the Beard Owl podcast. And before, I guess a couple days ago, I had shot you a message and I said, I've got it narrowed down to 2 beers and I'm trying to decide which one to have. And I went with, both were sours, which is...
Because you're sour on the album we're going to discuss.
I guess so. So I went with this one. It's called Hawaiian Shirt Party.
Love it.
And the connection with Weird Al should be obvious. And it's like I said, it's a sour. It's a tiki sour, so it's a sour with pineapple, mandarin, tangerine, and toasted coconut, which will be interesting. And it's for a tiki sour, it's from the Brewing Projekt in Eau Claire, Wisconsin.
I knew you were going to say somewhere really cold as soon as...
It's super weird. So I'm gonna bust this one open and pour it, and if you don't mind sharing what you've got.
Absolutely. So I actually, as we discussed, I struggled a little bit with what beer to pair, and I went to the grocery store. I just finally decided that because one of the songs on the Off the Deep End album that we're going to be discussing is the white stuff, I would just get a Belgian white from a local brewery. That was my original plan. And as I was picking that up, I saw another beer. And that from a brewery that I really like called TrimTab Brewing. It's out of Birmingham, Alabama. I live in Huntsville, Alabama. And they basically they have this, what they call the Light Visions collection. It's different kinds of IPAs, usually double IPAs. And they basically release a new one every month. And I always pick it up. And so since they had a new release, I picked it up. And I realized it was actually the perfect beer to bring on Beard Al because it's called the Grand Prismatic. And really Weird Al is kind of like the prism through which I learned to recalibrate my viewpoint and appreciate music when I was first getting into that. And so that was my kind of roundabout way of how I was gonna like.
That's like so cerebral. I love it. Mine's like, yeah, Hawaiian shirt. Weird Al wears a lot of Hawaiian shirts, and you're like the prism.
But I bought it without even thinking about that. Literally until this morning, I was still gonna do the Belgian white, and all of a sudden I was like, you know what? Wait a minute. I could probably do something like that. I don't know. I was having a good moment. Anyway, let's pop this one open here.
Oh yeah.
Besides, I also know Lauren's affinity for double IPAs, so
I do love them, which is why it's so weird that the two I was torn between were both sours. I like sours too, though. I think they might be my second favorite style, which is weird because they were the last style I actually started to enjoy and appreciate. But now, really, I find a sour to be so refreshing, like especially in the afternoon. I don't like drinking sours in the evening. Like the sun goes down, I'm not drinking a sour, but I will drink a sour in the afternoon. And this, it's mine's pretty. While you were talking, I did take a sip, and when I was, I'm gonna take another sip to make sure this is fresh in my brain, because you don't smell the coconut, and you don't initially taste the coconut. The coconut, that toasted coconut in this is like the last thing. It's like the back flavor on it.
Yep.
So you get all the tropical stuff first, and then it's like, oh, toasted coconut. And it's not like fresh coconut that you'd have on like oh God, what's that cake? Like a German chocolate cake?
Oh, yeah.
It's toasted coconut. You get the toastiness.
Oh, okay.
Which is, it's interesting. If you don't like coconut, you won't like this beer.
I love coconut.
I will tell you that. So you'd probably like
it. Okay. Well, I'm not really the world's biggest sour fan, but I've just been told that that's because I haven't had good sours. So I'm trying I'm trying periodically to just be like, oh, I'll give this particular sour a try. I really haven't developed my palate to appreciate it yet, but I'm still holding out hope. So
it's a whole different. The tongue has like flavor zones on it, right? And so like the sour zone on your tongue is different from everything else.
I actually heard that even though we were all taught that in elementary school, it's actually
wrong?
a lie. I actually heard that. So not only that, but there's actually 5 tastes and not 4. Like there's so many things that they've changed since I learned what I thought was canon that
it's wrong.
Exactly.
I was watching Jeopardy the other day, and the clue was something about this smallest planet, and like you want to say Pluto,
but it's Mercury.
It's Mercury now. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. I hate that.
I know, me too.
Okay. Speaking of things that I hate,
you can't. You can't hate a weird album.
No, I can't hate a Weird album. And actually, it's one of those things, you know how they say a bad day fishing is better than a good day at work?
Sure.
This is along the same lines. A Weird album that I don't love is still better than almost any other album.
Right.
So today we're talking about Weird Al's 1992 offering, Off the Deep End. For those of you who don't know, and again, if you don't know, why are you listening to this podcast? But for those of you that don't know, hi.
my wife just walked in. Sorry. She's bringing me lunch. Thank you, baby.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So,
ooh, Zaxby's.
So
nice.
So I mentioned Boozy Bracketology, which is one of our podcasts. Well, in the month of November, we're in the middle of recording it right now, but in the month of November, we're going to be doing a bracket breaking down the best restaurant. So we're going out and having food from all the restaurants that I've never eaten at before. So that my wife brought me some Zaxby's chicken.
Zaxby's isn't bad. When my brother, I think the first time my brother came down to visit me by himself, the only time my brother came down here to visit me by himself, I picked him up from the airport and we immediately went to a Zaxby's. And he was like, I've never had this before. It's just fast food. I've never had this before. Like, why not? And then like you're sitting in the Zaxby's and there's a map on the wall of where Zaxby's is, and it stops at the Mason-Dixon line. Huh. There are no Zaxby's north of the Mason-Dixon line. So my brother's like, that explains it. I live in Pennsylvania. That explains why I've never had Zaxby's. I don't care if we can hear you eating your Zaxby's. That doesn't bother me.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't think I'm a loud eater, but if you start hearing me go, that's good or something like that. I figured I haven't eaten in probably like almost 18 hours. So since I'm having beer, I should probably have some food too.
Yeah, absolutely. So to put our conversation today in context, Off the Deep End is your favorite Weird album.
It is, yes.
And collectively between John and myself, it's down at the bottom. It's our least favorite-ish. Like this and Alpocalypse.
I was going to say it was between that and Alpocalypse. That's what I thought.
Are not up there. And so in preparation for our conversation today, I actually listened to Off the Deep End in its entirety from beginning to end 3 times.
Okay.
3 times.
Dedication.
And
I like it.
I needed to immerse myself in it because it's one of those. I've talked before about how I have various Weird Al playlists for various situations in my life.
Right.
You know, I've got my Weird Al workout playlist, my driving playlist, my like chill Weird Al playlist. You know, I've got Weird Al for all moods,
right,
at all occasions. And except for You Don't Love Me Anymore, no songs from this album make it onto a playlist. Like, they're not standalone songs that I would just want to listen to. And I think that's my problem with this, is that none of the songs just get me in the way that some of the other ones get me.
Sure. And the thing with music, like, is it's completely subjective, right? So A, and B, as we actually discussed when y'all came on our podcast, I think that one of the things with Weird albums in particular is you love and gravitate to, I do love that term, by the way, so I'm kind of I'm dropping it as many times as I can.
I love that you used it. It's just like, oh, we did that. We put that in the world.
Yeah. I saw you grin and I was like, yeah, that's fine. But you gravitate to the ones that you hear first, I think, because like there's something extra magical about them. And I think you all discussed your first Weird album was Bad Hair Day.
Yep.
And mine was Off the Deep End. I was actually at a sleepover and a buddy of mine puts it on. And I had actually heard of Weird Al. I had heard through my cousin. She had once played me several years prior the song Stuck in a Closet with Vanna White. which I remembered because how do you forget a song called Stuck in the Closet with Vanna White? And as much as I had enjoyed it at the time, I had just never sought out anything else. Well, anyway, I'm at the sleepover and my buddy puts this on and I was just like, this is hilarious. This is fantastic. And yeah, like, and even weirder is this is weirder. It's probably early 1993, mid 1993. Yeah, because of where I was in school. I had in spite of that, I had never actually heard the Nirvana song "Smells Like Teen Spirit." Somehow, I mean, I think partially it was because my mom was protecting me from the that grunge scene and all that kind of stuff. But So I was just like, so I just loved the song because it sounded awesome. Like it just had that, obviously that's known as sort of like the groundbreaking song and stuff like that. So it had that vibe, not to mention it was just also hilarious. And I could appreciate it on just a purely musical level without even having to know what the song that it was parodying. And then I love the whole album start to finish. And basically that night I said, do you have a spare cassette tape? I'm gonna this is back in the day, like I said. So he had you had the 2 cassette tapes side by side on your stereo, and you put the one you want to record from in the one, and then the other one you press record and you sync it all up. So I had my really lo-fi copy of Off the Deep End, and I just played it nonstop. I'm sure my mother wanted to kill me, but that was really it. That was my gateway drug. And after that, it was I wanted weird albums for my birthday, and any chance it was like, we're going to the music store, you guys each get to pick out one album. I was like, I'm going to the Weird Al section. I'm going to get another. Yep. Until I had gathered everything that he had released up to that time. So that's my sort of emotional attachment to Off the Deep End. But I can actually probably go song by song and explain why it's awesome. I don't know if you want me to do that, but
well, we can do that on kind of like definitely a high level, because I do have the track list out, and I should know it by heart because I just listened to the damn thing 3 times. Right. But obviously it opens with Smells Like Nirvana, and I can't knock this song for what it did for Weird Al's career, right?
Yep,
and
absolutely.
You also can't knock this album for what it did for Weird Al's career, because this was the first album that he produced himself.
Yeah,
right?
That's right.
This was the first one without Rick Derringer.
That's right.
Like, again, shockingly produced every Weird album up to this point, which is still mind-blowing. I have a hard time reconciling, like, Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo and, like, Stuck in a Closet with Vanna White. Like, the same man had a hand in both of those things.
But those songs both rock, so that's cool.
Yeah, that's fair. Totally. And so, like, Weird Al, at this time, he wanted to parody Michael Jackson for a third time.
That's right. Black or White, right?
Right, and Snack All Night.
That's right.
And that was the one time that Michael Jackson was like, well, no. Because the song just had too much of a meaning.
It was more.
The other ones were about, right. It was deeper,
Exactly.
Bad is about being bad, and Beat It is about being bad.
Beat It's about gang, like, it's kind of about gang violence. So I mean, it's sort of serious, but it's not like
it's not. Yeah,
it's not the same. It's not having this broader political message to it.
Right. Yeah. That's no social commentary and all that stuff.
Right.
So Michael Jackson saying no to that kind of forced Weird Al into a new direction, you know, and then grunge happened, and then he did Smells Like Nirvana. And that was such a turning point. I feel like this album, aside from, obviously Rick Derringer no longer being involved, even just like as far as how the world kind of saw Weird Al, this album definitely was a turning point for that. 100%, because he went from being the guy that parodies Michael Jackson to, oh, he did that too.
Yep, exactly. And when you think about this album, and this is such an, I think it still holds up, but it is also such an early 90s album in its way, because you look at the breadth of music that he is covering in this album, especially Polka Your Eyes Out, which is my favorite Weird Al polka. If you look at the songs, first of all, I'm pretty sure it has the most songs of any Weird Al polka. I did not independently verify that, but
that I'll have to. I don't know. Does that data exist?
I mean, I think we'd have to manually count it. I'm sure you might be able to Google it. I have no idea, but
okay. You know what? I'm gonna put this out there. John, make a spreadsheet.
Yes.
We have spreadsheets for everything. John, just make a new tab on our spreadsheet. How many songs are in each polka? What's the densest polka? We need to cross-reference this with song length and genre. We need to know.
But the other interesting thing about the polka, right, is most of his other polkas kind of have like a broad overarching theme. Like you had the alternative polka, you know, obviously Bohemian polka. I think the Hot Rocks polka was the one right before this one. This one's all over the place.
Yeah, it's all over the
Like,
map.
it starts with Billy Idol, ends with Vanilla Ice, and it has like REM, the B-52s, Metallica. It has the friggin' Humpty Dance, for crying out loud, in the middle of it.
Yes.
Like, it's just
Yes.
insane. And the fact
Belle
that
Biv DeVoe. Do me, baby.
Oh my gosh.
Humpty Hump. Yeah.
Yeah, like, you know, speaking, like I was saying, I playing this cassette tape all the time, driving in cars with my mom, and like it comes to the part where he's like, "When I think about you, I touch myself," and I'm like, "Oh, this is really awkward right now." Like, but I mean, it's just, yeah. So I think the polka is fantastic, but beyond the polka, he's covering a lot of different styles. He's got grunge, rap, and boy band are the first 3 parodies on this album.
Yeah.
And they're all, in my opinion, just upper echelon of his parodies. I think they're fantastic. So
yeah, I mean, like I said, they're good. They're good for what they are. And so to your point that, you know what, yes, this definitely is quite the early 90s time capsule between Smells Like Nirvana, I Can't Watch This, the MC Hammer parody, then the polka being, you know, that snapshot of what was going on, the white stuff, the New Kids on the Block, Taco Grande.
Would anybody remember Gerardo if it wasn't for that song? I'm not sure.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't
either.
I wouldn't. And then the plumbing song, which is Milli Vanilli.
Right.
And then, you know, even You Don't Love Me Anymore is kind of like that extreme pastiche.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? The one song on this that stands out as an anomaly from the whole, this is a time capsule of the early 90s, is Trigger Happy.
Right.
What is that doing on here?
It's being one of the top 5 Beach Boys songs of all time. That song is phenomenal. That would be on most of my Weird Al playlists if I was nearly as organized as you are. Like, I just think that song is fantastic. It is just a pitch perfect style parody, or a pastiche, I guess, as they call it. So Trigger Happy's, but you're right. It completely stands out on this album, but it's so jarring, right? Because you get finished with Smells Like Nirvana, and then all of a sudden, Trigger Happy, ooh.
Well, yeah, and maybe that's the joke. I'm not sure.
I think it is, because I mean, I don't really remember, because we're talking almost 30 years ago, but I'm sure, like, when you had those 2 songs, I was just like, what just happened? Is this the same person? What's going on here?
It's so weird. I will give you this, though. When we did our original ranking of the songs, Trigger Happy was at or near the very bottom. In doing this, because we did one of the very first episodes we did was the plumbing song. So I also listened to this album, this Weird album, quite a bit around that time as well. And so I kind of mentally started giving Trigger Happy like another chance, because I really listened to the lyrics, and I'm like, this is so freaking clever.
Oh yeah. Like,
it really, really is, especially in today's climate.
Sure. Oh yeah.
You know, it's like, okay, you know, shoot first and ask questions later. Now on Trigger Happy. And I guess, you know, when I first listened to this, I didn't necessarily have much of an appreciation for the, you know, the source material of the pastiche.
Sure.
And B, I didn't really get what it was trying to say.
Right.
But now I'm like, okay, this definitely is a perfect, you know, Beach Boys song.
Right.
And 2, it's really funny. Like, he casually just shoots the cat and is like, well, you're gonna have to use him as a pencil.
Right,
instead.
Exactly.
And then you get a series, I don't know about you, but then I always get this image of, like, trying to write with a cat.
I totally do, too. I absolutely do that, yeah. I love the one where it's like, why'd you have to get so mad? It was just a lousy flesh wound, Dad. Like,
you know, yeah, I
shot
love the
Daddy
little...
in the den. Like, it's the juxtaposition of, like, the overly, like, cheerful harmony vocals and the subject matter. Shoot to kill now. Shoot to kill. Like, shoot to kill. That's why I don't know if I'd put that. See, to me, as great as the parodies are on this album, I actually think these are some of Weird Al's strongest originals.
Yeah.
Now, the one that I will concede that I think the one weak spot on the album to me is "I Was Only Kidding."
Yeah.
It's kind of a one joke number. And I know it's like a style parody of somebody I've never heard of. I forget the guy's name.
Tony OK.
Right. Okay. Right. Yeah. I was thinking Tone Loc, but I knew that wasn't it. But I knew it was something like that.
Not,
right.
Yeah.
That's Isle thing. Yeah. But
did.
So I have no idea what that is. But so I don't think that's necessarily a very good song because it's kind of a one joke song. But like the concept is really, really funny when you take a step back and think about it more. Like it's not just like that this person lied to this person, but it's like this person invested serious time in like just like if you think about it just to deliver this joke, and like that you can still kind of appreciate it from that level. But the one thing I will say about that is at least the first time when you're listening to the album, to the Weird album, and it's right after the polka and it starts up and the music is swelling and it sounds all like passionate and personal, and all of a sudden he goes, "I was only kidding," and that you just die laughing. It was because that was one of the funniest moments on the album the first time through. It doesn't have a lot of re-listen value in my opinion, but other than that, Trigger Happy, When I Was Your Age, Airline Amy, and You Don't Love Me Anymore, I think are all just phenomenal examples of the different kinds of originals that Weird Al just does so well. All different, lots of different styles, and just all like fall down hilarious.
Yeah, I can appreciate it for that too, because this definitely is all over the place stylistically. I just feel like the plumbing song, Taco Grande, and the white stuff, I guess that's just like early 90s music that like I don't care for.
Absolutely.
I don't really like. So I have a hard time, like he does a good job with this stuff. I mean, Taco Grande, having listened to this album now, 3 times straight through
right.
in a row, I'm going to be mad if I don't get Mexican food for dinner today.
Right?
Because, I need it. And some margaritas.
And the pizza margaritas.
So, yeah, like, I get it. I get it.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I think that's part of it, right? It's easier to appreciate the album, but if you weren't like in the thick of that music at that time, like I'll just come out and admit it. I was a New Kids on the Block fan for about 6 months around 1990 time frame. Yeah, exactly. Even though I in fact was not a 9-year-old girl at the time. No, but I did. It was, there was something about it that was just, honestly, I think it was more that I wanted to be the New Kids on the Block. Because, it is very hard to realize now, but for a kid in like a late elementary school kid in 1990, the New Kids on the Block personified cool. It's amazing to say that now, but they did.
Yeah. Well, they did. And I mean, I am to this day, and I make no apologies for it, I'm a huge Full House fan, and I enjoy Full House and the reboot Fuller House. I think they did a great job with it. I'm getting somewhere with this, I promise. The Fuller House reboot, I feel like, keeps a lot of the tone of the original while also being extremely tongue-in-cheek to the fact, like, it's aware that it's a family sitcom, and I appreciate that self-awareness. And that self-awareness comes out, I think it's season 2 of Fuller House. They go to see the New Kids on the Block. They're the grown women, so it's grown-up DJ, grown-up Stephanie, grown-up Kimmy. They are going to see the New Kids on the Block, and they are so amped up with it. It's like they are taken back to when they were,
right,
of the right age to listen to the New Kids on the Block, and you see it, and so I get it, because they're watching this like, this was cool when I was in those formative years, and so like we loved them then, and I think Kimmy gets pulled up on stage with them, and like she's like, she's just completely mind blown from this whole thing. So I get it. I can see why people think the New Kids on the Block were cool. I mean, my thing was the Spice Girls, because I'm a little younger.
Yeah,
the Spice Girls were my New Kids on the Block. I wanted to be all of them. I wanted to be all of the Spice Girls. I almost spilled my beer talking with my hands. That would have been tragic in so many ways.
Yep. I actually hold my beer specifically to prevent myself from talking too much with my hands.
Oh my God. Yeah, see, I get I'm like half Polish, so we do the hand talking thing.
Gotcha.
And I'm allowed to say that because I am Polish. And, my dad would be so mad. Spilling beer is like a cardinal sin.
Oh, yeah.
He calls it it's alcohol abuse.
Yep.
That's what he says. Like, spilling your beer is alcohol abuse. And so then I would not only lose my beer, my phone is sitting here. I've got all my equipment, my computer that would have beer all over it. So not only would it be sticky, I might run into problems. So I'm glad I got that quickly.
Me too.
But anyway, yeah, I was just saying I wanted to be all of the Spice Girls. I didn't have one that I wanted to be.
See, I wanted to be Joey. The reason I wanted to be Joey was A, he was the youngest, so he was closest to my age. But B, also, it's hard for people who know me now to realize this, but I used to have a lot of hair, and it was very curly. And he had the curly hair, and so I don't know. I felt a kinship with Joey McIntyre for those 6 months.
For those 6 months, yeah, I was like, we were bros for like 6 months.
Right, exactly. Yeah, he yeah, he didn't know it, but
he didn't know it. Oh my God! But yeah, so the white stuff.
Yeah. So I actually have a funny story about the white stuff.
Okay.
That came out weird.
The title is weird. If your brain is wired a certain way, it goes somewhere that it's not supposed to go.
And that's exactly what this story is. The same friend who introduced me to Weird Al, later he goes, my mom was like, you know what he's talking about when he says the white stuff, right? And he's like, well, yeah, Mom, of course I do. And she's like, yeah, cocaine. And it's like, what? He literally says, I love the white stuff in the middle of an Oreo. I mean, yeah, sure. I guess you could put cocaine in the middle of an Oreo, but I don't know if she just wasn't listening or she was just assuming, well, Nirvana's popular right now and their songs are about heroin. So I don't know,
God.
but that just cracked me up.
Who's putting cocaine in Oreos?
I have no idea. I think she just didn't listen. I think she just heard I love the white stuff. And she's like, well, all of these rock and rollers are the same with their sex and their drugs,
Oh my God. I think Weird Al was not having sex at the time. Weird Al.
I mean, I have no idea about Weird Al's personal life, but I mean, I know in general he's a clean living sort of guy. So it's like
he is a clean living sort of guy.
Very much so.
He doesn't really drink, right? He's like basically a vegan. Yeah, Weird Al is probably one of the cleanest people in the entire world. Like, did you happen to catch oh Lord, that show The Hot Ones where they do like the progressively hotter
I've seen The Hot Ones with Weird Al, yes. It's been a while, but I've seen it.
Did you catch that they were like tofu wings?
Oh yeah, I did. I don't know if I can't. Did they mention it on the episode or not? I don't remember, but I found out about that later, and I was just like, that's so funny. I love that.
That is so like near the end. The host was like, well, "It's been fun eating tofu with you," or something along those lines. But yeah, that's something that I would love to do on this show. John and I want to get our dad on at some point.
That would be so much fun. Yeah.
Dad has talked many times. Like he leaves comments, and it's like, well, actually, this is what happened in that story, or this is what happened then. And so I was like, Dad, just like make a list of wherever we get stories wrong, and you can just come on. We'll do a fact-checked episode, like periodically, where you tell us like how our childhood brains misremembered things.
Right. That would be That would be so much fun, I think.
But when we have him on, he loves hot sauce. Anything spicy, and he swears like he can eat the spiciest thing ever. So I would kind of like to have that fact check conversation with beer and progressively hotter hot sauces.
Nice.
I don't know if that would actually happen because we're all like spread apart. Like to make sure we all have the same hot sauces would be a bit of a
that might be a logistical challenge, but
we could make it happen somehow.
Oh yeah,
I think. But
yeah. I don't know why that made me think of this, but I met a guy one time who collected hot sauces, like based on like, and his goal was to get these ones that were, higher on, I think it's like the Schofield scale or whatever it is.
Scoville.
Okay. I think I always say Schofield and I always get corrected. And yet I continue to misremember it.
here's how you remember. On the Hot Ones, Weird Al actually said, "That's Scovilicious."
That is a mnemonic that's going to stick. I like that. It's Scovilicious.
Yeah, see,
that's such a Weird Al thing. I love that.
I know. But anyway,
Yeah.
he collected hot sauces? Was that the story?
So he collected hot sauce, but he was telling me about this one hot sauce, like, that it's so high, like, he took, like, an eyedropper and put, like, a single drop on his tongue, and, like, he got, like, chills and kind of, like, his body, like, started shaking and stuff like that. And I just remember going, you voluntarily do this to yourself? Like, this is... Yeah, I mean, I like spicy food, I thought, but apparently not, because just this concept of... Like, he was like, yeah, my body went, like, half catatonic and all this kind of stuff. I'm like... To each their own, man. Like, I'm not one to judge, but it just doesn't sound like the most pleasant experience.
No, I mean, I enjoy spicy, okay? I do. But there hits a point where if it's uncomfortable, like, just don't do it. Just don't do it. Like, I don't know if we've mentioned this on the show, but our dad is actually an identical twin.
Oh, cool. I did not know that. If you have mentioned it, I didn't hear it, so...
I don't think we have. And our dad's identical twin brother actually has identical twin sons, which is crazy.
That is crazy, yeah.
The story is we were children and we were at a wings place, and they did there was like a challenge that this wings place did where if you could eat like a dozen of their hottest wings, you got something, right? And without drinking.
Right. That's like Buffalo Wild Wings, the Blazing Challenge, that kind of thing?
Something along those lines, yeah.
Okay.
But this was a small local place called like the Chicken Coop or something like that.
Okay.
And so our two families, we had gone, for dinner and some chicken wings, and so our dad and his identical twin brother are sitting across from each other at the table. So now two men that look exactly alike, each with a dozen of the place's hottest wings in front of them, basically staring each other down in the eye, like. Eating these wings, not drinking anything, and you see the sweat. You see that neither one of them will admit that they were sweating or uncomfortable or even having a hard time. But I'm sitting there and I'm like, this can't be fun. This can't be fun for anyone. And they're just like so intently, staring at each other. And they're mirror image twins. So our dad's left-handed, so our uncle's right-handed. So they're sitting across from each other. So it's literally a mirror. And it's one of those brain images that, like, I will never forget because they both ended up doing it, I think. They both finished them. So I don't know if anybody actually won
right.
whatever they were doing there. But, yeah, that's one of those things. So that's why, like, I see Weird Al on Hot Ones, and I'm thinking, oh, we could do that. Or maybe we just give Dad all the spicy ones and just, like, be like, okay, so where did we go wrong? And he's like, so spicy.
I love that visual of, like, two, grow. In my opinion, they're like, I actually don't know have no idea what your dad looks like, but, like, for some reason I have, maybe it's because you wear glasses, but I have, like, did your dad wear glasses too? Yeah.
Yep.
I just have, like, two, like, grown men with gray hair and glasses and, like, just, like, staring at each other really intense. The visual's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, you're close. It's glasses and two blondes with receding hairlines.
Okay.
And varying facial hair.
Oh, okay.
Now the only way we can tell them apart now is our dad has a beard and our uncle does not. No, we know. We can tell them apart. But when we were kids, actually, our dad was on a business trip and my brother was probably like 2 or 3, and our uncle came over because he needed to drop something off. And my brother comes running from the back of the house, Daddy,
Yep.
Daddy. And our uncle's like, no.
No. Oh my god.
Because my brother was too young to get like the nuances. I
Right.
mean, the only way we told our cousins apart was one of our cousins has a birthmark on his calf. So in the summertime, it was very easy. In the wintertime, it was very hard to tell them apart. Pull up your pants. I want to see your leg.
Right?
Which one are you?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, see, welcome to your very first completely off-topic Beard Al tangent.
I love just generally thinking about the arcs of conversations. You know what I mean? Like, how do you get from point A to point B? The weird way everyone's mind works and somehow manages to converge back on something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's I don't even know how we got there. We were on the white stuff, and then we went to cocaine.
Right.
And then we went to chicken wings. I don't know how we got there.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't matter.
I know how I know. No, it was okay. Cocaine. Weird Al doesn't do cocaine. Weird Al's vegan. Hey, do you remember he ate those tofu wings?
That's right.
Hot sauce. Boom.
That's right. Okay, it's good. You follow that logic progression. That's good.
It's like, wow, we go all over the place.
Yeah.
So have you basically said, is Trigger Happy your very favorite song on this album? Do you have a very favorite song on Off the Deep End?
You know, I knew you were going to ask me that. For the longest time, it was actually when I was your age. Because I always thought that song was hilarious. But
well, I've had the line, "We didn't play Nintendo, we just poured salt on snails," stuck in my head for the past day or two.
Right.
We didn't play Nintendo, we just poured salt on snails.
I know. Oh yeah, exactly. No, but I think honestly, really it would probably be the second single off of the Off the Deep End album. You Don't Love Me Anymore would probably be my favorite now if I had to choose, because I love those last track of the Weird album songs where he just says, if you got here, you're probably committed, so you're just gonna, or maybe should be committed, and just so I love those songs. We talked about Biggest Ball of Twine. I love Albuquerque. I love a lot of those songs. They're completely ridiculous but they hold a special place in the true Weird Al fan's heart. You Don't Love Me Anymore is kind of like a romantic version of the Good Old Days off of Even Worse. I always kind of thought of it like that.
Yeah, they're very similar. Well, he does both of them on the Tiny Desk concert. Have you ever seen the NPR Tiny Desk concert?
I didn't know Weird Al had done one of those. I love those. I love that series, but I'd never seen Weird Al. Oh my gosh, I'm looking that up right after this.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
The Weird Al Tiny Desk concert is great. He does, I believe it's Good Old Days, You Don't Love Me Anymore, and CNR.
Real like an acoustic version of CNR.
Yeah, Charles Nelson Riley was
See, I would have done Melanie. That would have been the other one I would have done.
Oh, that is my sister-in-law, so John's wife. That is her favorite Weird Al song.
Oh, really? I love that song.
Melanie.
I used to torture. I had a friend named Melanie in college, and I used to torture her with that song.
That song is great too. I mean, and so like you were saying, You Don't Love Me Anymore, Good Old Days, Melanie. A lot of those songs kind of fall into that similar bucket where it sounds like one thing,
right? But
then you listen to the words and all of these grotesque things are happening.
Exactly.
It's and it's so good. But you're right about the last track on the album songs, and I feel like Weird Al kind of did that right from the beginning, because
pretty much, because even Mr. Frump and the Iron Lung is kind of off the wall. What is this?
What is this?
Right.
Do you know the Iron Lung breathing sound is actually just the accordion?
Yeah, I actually heard that somewhere, and I was like, that was really clever.
That was really, so I bet he got that idea because the accordion made that noise at some point, and he's like, that sounds like an iron lung.
Exactly.
I could imagine him having that, process happen. But then, so it's Mr. Frump, then Nature Trail to Hell is the closing track of in 3D. Right, with its
backmasked Cheese Whiz shout out in the middle.
Satan loves Cheese Whiz. Oh my God.
Now I gotta ask, because I've never heard it mentioned, but do you tie the Nature Trail to Hell to Stairway to Heaven? That juxtaposition. I've never seen anyone else mention that before. Yeah, I've always thought, Nature Trail to Hell is a conscious parody of Stairway to Heaven, especially because Stairway to Heaven was also accused of, if you played it backwards, it had satanic messaging in it. I don't know if it was Stairway.
Oh my God.
I don't know if it was Stairway, but Led Zeppelin was accused of that.
On Halloween, we talked about Nature Trail to Hell. You have seriously just blown my mind, because it's a stairway to heaven and a nature trail to hell.
Right.
Whoa.
I had just never heard that mentioned, and I don't know if I just hadn't seen it or whatnot, but I always thought that was like a cool thing. But
that is wild. This is why I love having guests on this podcast, because they think of things. You people think of things that I just my brain was never gonna go there. Holy crap. That's Wild, man. That's so wild. Oh my God. Okay. I need a minute. I'm feeling a little verklempt. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll give you a topic. Rafe Fiennes' name is spelled neither Rafe nor Fiennes. Discuss. Oh my God.
Was that one they actually did? Was the Rafe Fiennes one?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like,
that's my...
because I was going to say, if you came up with that on the spot, I was just going to be super impressed.
No, I should, no, that was one that was on there. That was one. That's the only one I could remember offhand, because it's like, you know what? That's so true. Rafe Fiennes' name is spelled neither Rafe nor Fiennes. It's Ralph Fiennes.
Yep.
Oh God. I'm just.
I know.
See, this is what happens. This is what happens. We hit a point in these shows where the beer is
starts to
almost
kick in.
gone.
Yep.
So,
but mine's a 16-ouncer too.
Mine as well. And actually, I haven't checked this in on Untapped yet, which I'm going to do now.
I haven't done mine either, and we need to link up on Untapped too, because
yes. Yeah, we absolutely do.
But yeah, mine is 6. I don't think I said before, but it's 6.5% alcohol by volume.
Mine's 9.
Ooh, so you're way ahead.
It didn't say on the can anywhere.
Oh, you only found out because you looked it up on Untapped.
Yeah. I have no idea how much I've been drinking up until now.
Oops.
Oopsie daisy. And you know what? Just for that, I'm going to give it a pretty good rating. Oh my God. That's too funny. I'm
giving mine a 4. I tend to go 4 is get this, basically 3.75 is get this again. And I seldom go below 3.5. Unless if I really don't like a beer, I'll just give it like a 3. I think 3 is the lowest rating that I've ever given a beer. I'm just not. I know how much goes into the beer making process that I just don't like to crap on other people's stuff too much. So.
I get that. I get that 100%. And it's like the only quote unquote beers that I have actually rated below a 3 are like your Miller Lights or your Bud Lights or your.
I think I gave like. Yeah, I think I gave something like that a 2.5 or something.
No, I was like, they barely got half a point out of me.
But
like, no way.
There are, I know that I come across as a heathen for saying this maybe, but there are occasions where I can enjoy a Miller Lite, or not really a Bud Light so much, but like a Miller, like if I'm gonna have a light beer, like a mass produced light beer. After a long day of I remember after softball tournaments, I used to play in softball tournaments back in the day, and you've done that all day. You're just sweaty and nasty, and just like a solid pitcher of Miller Lite sounds like the greatest thing in the world at that time.
Well, because you're sweaty and it's hot and you're thirsty and you want some water.
Exactly. So you go for beer flavored water, which is what Miller Lite is. I mean, and that's fine, but.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fair. It's completely fair.
But
oh my Lord.
When I used to go to there was this when I first got into craft beer was when I was living in Houston. I was going to grad school, and there was a brewery called Two Rose Brewery, and I think it's since closed. But every Wednesday they had $1 pint night where all of their draft beers that they brewed on site were $1 for a pint. Went there every week. It was fantastic. But this was a time when a lot of the breweries still just also sold the mass produced beers too. So you could also go to Two Rose and pay $2.50 on dollar beer night to get a Miller Lite. And it drove me insane the number of people that did that. I was like, you could literally pay $1 for better beer and you're paying $2.50 or whatever it was for a Miller Lite. I don't even they have a blonde that is better, that it's essentially a light beer, but it's just way better. It's got a good flavor profile. It's got a flavor profile. What are you doing? At that, there's been many points of this throughout my life, but that was one of the points where I was just like, I don't understand people.
And that's crazy town.
Yeah.
That's absolutely nuts. I'm offended by these people. I'm sorry, I just made you spit your beer out.
No, that was a close one, but I managed to recover.
You recovered it. Nice save. Nice save there.
Yep.
We will have no wasted beer.
That's
on
right.
The Beard Owl podcast. None whatsoever. I seriously did not realize this was 9%. I have to go to the grocery store.
Oh God. Oh no.
It'll be fine. I'll just get a bunch of snacks.
Yeah, exactly.
Is there anything else you wanted to say about your beer, about this album, life in general? Anything you want to say to Weird Al, just in case he's listening to the show?
You know, if Weird Al happens upon the show, and I really think that, I don't know. I don't know Weird Al personally, but it's hard to imagine that Weird Al wouldn't get a kick out of this shit. I don't know why. I feel like he would be the kind of person who would just like be like, this is hilarious, because it's like, but again, the tangents are so fantastic because it's, you know, it's the Beard Al podcast, and yes, obviously y'all discuss beer and Weird Al, but like you discuss so many other things. It's basically just like, it's so fantastic. I love it so much. But Weird Al, if you're listening, just, you know, you already know that you are a national treasure, and just keep on keeping on. And, you know, we certainly appreciate all of the music and the laughter through the years.
I know.
Yeah.
Are you getting verklempt now? You want to give me a topic?
A little bit.
Oh, no.
No,
seriously, you get misty thinking about it, right? Because like, seriously, he means so much. He's so important.
I said it before about the whole Prism thing, and I was not being facetious. Genuinely speaking, like I am a huge music fan, to the extent that a lot of my friends have referred to me as like Mike the Music Guy and different things like that. And genuinely speaking, I would not be that person without Weird Al, because Weird Al got me into music. Like I said, most of the songs that he parodied, I don't want to say most, but a lot of the songs that he parodied, I had really never heard before. You know, like I said, I had never heard Smells Like Teen Spirit when I heard Smells Like Nirvana. It made me interested in the compositions and melodies and different instrumentations and all that kind of stuff. Like because he is such a master craftsman. I think casual fans and certainly haters fail to appreciate the degree of attention and craft that he puts into each and every one of his songs. Like, he is just a musician through and through. Fantastic. So genuinely, I would not be the music person, would not be any of that without Weird Al having popped up into my life at that random sleepover in 7th grade. Yeah. So
that's so awesome.
And this album. So, like, you know, again, that's probably why this album just will always hold that special place in my heart. But no, I do think, like, just wall to wall, I think this is one of his most consistent albums. I think it's got a lot of quality songs, but I will say back to your point about your playlists and stuff like that. I think that this album, start to finish, is such a good listen. I don't know that it has as high of highs as a lot of his albums do. As much as I love certain of especially the originals that I mentioned, I think that that's probably part of the reason why, you know, it might not pop up as much if you're just making a particular thing. So that totally makes sense.
Yeah. I am just remembering now that I did have something I needed to say. John, who we tried, there was a little, you know, I knew I could be here, and John was like, I'll try and hop on if I, you know, don't. But I want to. This was good. I want to have you on the show again for sure, because this was a lot of fun.
Absolutely, I'd love to come back.
Maybe when we talk about one of the songs on this album that John and I don't have a lot to say about, that would be definitely awesome. But you know, I told John, I was like, yeah, you know, Mike's coming on. We're going to talk about Off the Deep End and how it's his favorite Weird album. And John wanted me to say, John goes, make sure you tell him it's okay to be wrong sometimes. So
I'm married, so I know that full well.
Oh, that's wonderful. So I would have been in trouble if I didn't say that.
Yep.
So
No, absolutely. No, like I said, music is subjective, but actually, I think it was the recently late Eddie Van Halen that I read an interview with him one time, and he said something like, you know, just be into your music. Like, don't just choose music for, you know, whatever other reason. Like, if you're music is subjective. Like what you like. You don't have to like me. You don't have to like, you know, but if you're gonna like something, just really like it. Don't, you know, get into it. So, you know, like I said, music. I love music. So
Yeah, and that's perfect. I mean, and that's the best way to be, you know. Oh god, it's like one of my things is I hate it when people ask you, well, what's your favorite guilty pleasure song? And I literally have no guilty pleasure anything.
I don't believe in guilty pleasures, really.
Right, and like it's like seriously, exactly. Like it's if I like it, I like it. You know, because to so many people out there in the world, Weird Al would be a guilty pleasure. It's like, oh yeah, I like Weird Al, but like, no, I love Weird Al, and I will shout it from the rooftops.
Absolutely, yeah. It has been really refreshing seeing what I believe in recent years. I feel like Weird Al has really gotten his due in recent years in terms of how important he has been through in the popular culture over the last 40 years. Really, he's been an omnipresent force for all that time. And I'm still can't wait to see what else he's going to do. I know he's done with albums, basically. He said, right, Mandatory Fun was his last one, but he still pops up in things, and he was just in that Portugal the Man song. I actually have not gotten around to hearing that yet, but I love Portugal the Man, so I want to hear that.
Yeah, it's good. It's weird. Well, at first for Weird Al not to be weird, but it was an important song that I appreciated, and I feel like in not being weird and doing that, it was the most Weird Al thing that Weird Al could have done.
So there's actually a song by Ben Folds called I think it's just called Time. And Weird Al and Ben Folds, I guess, are buddies or whatever, and Weird Al does the backing vocals on that song. And it's not a weird song. Like, it's a very like heartfelt song and everything like that. And I was like, when it clicked that it was Weird Al doing the backing vocal. I think he's done it on a couple Ben Folds songs, but that's the one that springs out. When it clicked, and I was just like, that's another thing that you forget about Weird Al is actually how phenomenal his voice is. He's got a absolutely fantastic voice. So, and his harmonies on that are amazing.
Oh, that's see. I'll have to check that. I love Ben Folds, and I've heard that song. I just don't think I ever mentally made that connection, which is wild. Which is again why I love having guests on the show. They tell me things I don't know. But I finished my beer.
I got a couple more swallows on mine, but
I feel like you take your time with it.
Oh yeah,
it's all good.
Oh yeah.
Just be relaxed. Enjoy your Zaxby's. Enjoy the rest of your beer. Zaxby's, sponsor the show, please.
Right. Well, that's the other funny thing about doing the restaurant bracket over a boozy bracketology. Every restaurant we talk up, we're like, in case you want to sponsor us.
I know. Well, we've had so many Dogfish Head beers on this show.
Oh, I love Dogfish Head. Yeah.
That it's like, come on, Dogfish Head.
Right.
Like, let's go.
Well, TrimTab Brewing, this brewery that I brought on today. I've been buying this Light Visions collection for probably 6 months now. We've had it on the Pub Trivia Experience or Boozy Bracketology 1 probably at least once a month. I should shoot them a line and just be like, hey, just in case you want to throw a little money our way, like, I don't know, why not?
You had one when John and I were on Pub Trivia Experience.
That's right, because it was the triple dry hopped double IPA.
Yeah, you had to one up my dry hop.
Yeah, it was not my intention, but.
Well, I think we're gonna wrap this episode up with the dry hop one-upper Mike. As
Cheers
he takes
to that.
His last swig of beer. Cheers to that. I just want to thank you so much for coming on today and talking some Weird Al. Like I said, I definitely want to have you back because this has been an absolute blast.
I would love to come back. Thank you so much for having me. I feel like I don't get to talk music a whole lot, especially, and honestly, John's in kind of a similar boat. He has young kids now, and so like you're kind of in that world, and so getting to have these kind of conversations is just so much fun. It's such a welcome change of pace. So I really appreciate you having me on. Anytime you want me back, I'll be there.
Oh, for sure. We will definitely be in touch, and I'm thinking one of our regular song episodes for sure. Even though you're very special, we want to have you on a regular episode. So, I guess, once again, thank you so much, everybody, for listening to yet another very special episode of the Beard Al Podcast. I'm still Lauren, John is still gone, and Mike, you were awesome.
I am still Mike, yes.
All right, well, bye, people. Thank you.
Bye.